What's up, man?
What's up? What's going on? How are you?
Thanks for coming on the podcast.
Oh, thanks for having me. I definitely appreciate it.
No problem, man. You know what I mean? I met you a few weeks ago.
Yes.
My boy David Spears reps you, so I had to, have you on the podcast. Of course.
I appreciate that. Of course,
Thank man. You. Why don't you tell everyone who you are and what you do?
My name is DeShawn Lax. I'm originally from Oakland, California. Moved down to Riverside, see what the world has to offer. Get out of my comfort zone.
Random.
Yeah.
A lot of people picking Riverside. Yeah.
Oh, man. It wasn't initially the plan. We're supposed to go to Long Beach. Mm-hmm. But I realized you can't get as much bang for our buck, I should say, in Long Beach. So I started to look in Europa Valley, David's advice. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I don't know if I want to be that close to David. And I'm like, Riverside's pretty not, right there. Yeah. So we looked in Riverside, ended up finding partially our dream home. And
nice. Aren't you in downtown?
Yes.
Nice.
Yes.
Did you walk here or no?
I could have, but I did not. The way I sweat through these T-shirts.
That's the truth, man. It's it's so funny. I actually just moved to Rancho, but I always had the goal of living in the apartments right behind my office. People were like, why would you do that? I'm like, bro, when it's hot, 3 blocks, I'm sweating. I was like, I need door to door. I need to not only have AC for 30 seconds.
Exactly. Yeah. Build a tunnel system from my house to.
So you're rocking it, but why don't you tell people about your clothing company you have?
So that's the thing. That's the dilemma I'm trying to address, I guess you could say. So it is a clothing company. It is a brand. What I'm hearing from people is this is more than a brand. This is a mindset. So now I'm in how do I present this situation? So you can only present it the best way possible. Best way to present it is we're a company that is striving to help people overcome self-doubt while enhancing people's ability to challenge their limits on a day-to-day basis. I feel like we can do a lot more than what we can, but everyone is focused on they say this and they say that. But the biggest thing that stops us is that voice in our head that tells us, oh, you can't, you're too young, you're not enough. Me, for example, I am 34 years old, but when people look at me, they're like, oh, he's 20, he's a young kid, he's going to do good, give him some time. Mm-hmm. Little do they know the life that I've experienced. I've been an adult since I was in 4th grade, it feels like. But I deal with overcoming self-doubt on a day-to-day basis. I will come up with an idea, and my second thought is, well, you can't do that because of X, Y, and Z. So I want to help people overcome those things.
Yeah.
That's the main driving goal. That's the main driving point, to let them know you're stronger than that voice in your head. Mm-hmm. I'm not a therapist. I'm not a doctor. I can only talk off my experiences and relate. So I came up with an idea. How can we spread the brand out? Put it on what people love, their clothes. Mm-hmm. So that's what we did. And we're rocking with clothes left and right. People see it. Only downfall is you got to talk about it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's crazy when people want to start a business. I'm like, okay, so you better be great at marketing. And they're like, what do you mean? And I go, dude, if people don't know about your services or what you do, they're never going to put out. And it's like how much you have to put out to just even make a blimp.
Correct.
It's so much work.
Yeah.
You know?
It's hard.
But there's always a chance you can make it.
Oh, yeah. And that's what it is for me.
Mm-hmm.
Just because I said I can't and other people said I can't don't mean I won't.
Yeah. Do you do everything out of your house?
Everything out of my house.
In the garage?
We got a spare bedroom.
A spare bedroom?
The gym's in the garage. So
okay.
I had it mandatory. We have to have a gym. And then we have a spare bedroom, so I do everything.
Do you just screen print and then put it through a heater or no?
Basically, I purchase vinyl. Mm-hmm. I cut the design on the vinyl. Then I need to peel that. So every single product I've ever put out, I've had to peel every single one. Then I put it on the garment, put it on the heat press, let it chill for 90 seconds.
Oh, okay. So you don't do a screen printing. You do.
I do heat press.
Heat press.
Yep.
Yeah.
So a lot of people they're like, oh, don't do vinyl, it's bad. Don't do vinyl, it's bad. So what I did was not follow the rules, and it's been working.
That's good.
They say do it press down your T-shirt for 20 to 30 seconds. I do mine for 90, and I did a test run to figure out what was the best time for longevity, and it was the 90 seconds. But that's what I do every day when I get off my 9 to 5.
What do you do for 9 to 5?
I'm audiovisual project coordinator.
Okay.
I used to be a lead install technician. I got promoted to project coordinator, so now I'm learning and doing all behind the scene things.
What is that like? Where do you work at normally?
We work from home, which is great, but our main contract is Google. We started working with them in 2016, building all their conference rooms. And it's grown to be a great relationship and been one of the highest earners at the company I work with.
Nice. So you guys build out their whole conference room, their audio, visual, all that stuff?
Yep.
Which is very difficult, people. It is not easy. Especially conference room, there's always an echo that you have to figure out how to get rid of.
Yep.
And it costs a lot of money to get rid of the echo.
Most definitely.
It's not cheap.
No.
That's why conference rooms are the worst.
They have their perks, but every single one always has the same thing. Nothing works when you first set it up.
100%. So how do you guys do that from at home?
Well,
you just manage the project.
I'm managing the project. Yeah. Yep. When I wasn't at home, I was in the field. I'm building. I'm working with a team of X amount of guys, and we're going anywhere from here to New York to go build conference rooms for Google.
When did you get into that?
I actually got messed over by my old job, and I said, you know what? You got enough money saved up. Let's just hang out for 6 months. I went to the gym, met this dude. And he's like, you want to work at my company? Not my company, but where I work for. And he told me about it. I didn't know what audiovisual was at the time. He said, just apply. So I did, and they gave me a job. And
there you go.
I couldn't chill for 6 months, but
yeah,
I had another job in 4 weeks.
Oh, so you started, when did this start?
This was 2016.
All right.
And then I said, I'm going to chill for 6 months, and then I'm going to hit it hard. 4 months into that chilling for 6 months, 4 weeks, I'm sorry, I got offered a job.
Oh, and you gotta take it.
Yeah, I mean,
now look at you.
Right, exactly. So
it never plans out the way you want it to plan out, is it?
No, people tell me when I was younger, make a plan, God laughs.
Yeah. So. For you, so what was the? I mean, a lot of people always want to start clothing companies, but what was it to finally put you over the edge where you actually are making it, you're pressing it, you're buying the stuff, you're designing, and
I'm a guy, I'm on the boots leader. I'm a personal leader. I lead with personnel first. And I know that if I'm going to be a leader or if I'm going to do things, I need to know the ins and outs of everything. I can't order T-shirts and they can't get it in time. I don't know what it entails. So I told myself, you got to figure all this out, which is the reason why I think it's been so long. Because I don't have a team.
It's just you.
It's just me by myself.
Yeah.
And I want to learn everything. What I'm learning now is, bro, you don't have to do that.
No.
Like you can get the ball rolling.
That's the biggest mistake people make.
Exactly. And then I realized that, and I think that's what's holding me back. It's like, all right, cool. You don't have the proper finances to technically pay for X amount of marketing or pay for an editor. So you got to figure it out. So you've been in that boat for so long, and it's like, you got to get out the boat. So you jump straight to finances.
Yeah.
So you need to find out a way to get backing or get investors. I was always afraid, because I'm having a hard time trusting people.
100%.
I've been messed over so many times.
I think that's the thing that we've all, every single very successful person can always say there was a moment in time where they got burned.
Yeah.
It's like funny, like I've done some deals that have gone south on me with loaning money and doing things like that. And then I hear other stories, people are like, yeah, I lost $5 million. And it's like, okay, that person lost $5 million and they're still successful.
Yeah.
So I lost the money I lost. But then when I talk to people that don't take risks, they're like, how do you do that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, if you want to be successful, you got to take a risk.
100%.
If you don't take a risk, you're never going to be successful.
No.
You got to jump.
This is correct.
And you got to be okay living with knowing that you could go broke.
Oh, yeah. I think that's why I have a power. I started there. I know what it's like. You
can go back to it.
I can go back to it and thrive.
Yeah.
What are you talking?
Yeah.
So it's like I have that comfortability. I had to get out of that.
Mm-hmm.
I had to tell myself there is no going back. You can't go back.
So did you come down from Oakland by yourself?
No, I actually came with my lady. The original plan was for her to go to Long Beach, and then they needed
college.
Yes,
yeah.
And they needed her to be like triple vaccinated.
Oh, okay.
And she's like, wait a minute, I got to get 6 shots to go.
Yeah.
So that kind of became a no situation, and then as time went on, it got more lenient. But we were already in Riverside, and she's already been accepted to a handful of other colleges that she needs to decide on where she's going to finish out her year.
Did she help you at all with the company? No.
I want to say yes, because she always offers.
Yeah.
But we're not, it never seems to, like, one of our patients always runs out too fast.
The funny thing is my girlfriend's a real estate agent.
Oh.
And obviously I'm a realtor.
Yeah.
So people always go like, oh, do you coach her? Do you work? I'm like, no. They're like, why? And I'm like, because I just don't want to go home and talk about real estate.
That's another thing, yeah.
I want to keep it completely separate. Like, maybe we'll talk about a deal here and there, but, like, I don't want to be like, hey, did you make your calls today? Hey, did you do this today?
No.
Hey, like, I don't, you know what I mean?
You want to love her.
Yeah, I just want to have my girl. I don't need to have a real estate agent at home. And, like, some people it works for them. Like, I know some people it's like, oh, I love working with my wife, or I love working with my husband. We never turn it off. And I'm like, dude, no thank you.
Yeah, no, I need a balance. And I'm good. Yeah.
I am good.
I need a balance.
I need balance, yeah. So right now, like, what is the main push for the clothing company? Or is the goal one day to just only do the company?
So it's a handful of things. Another thing I'm learning, you can't have all these cool ideas and work on them all at the same time. You need to execute one at a time.
Yeah, so we call it rocks.
Rocks.
Yeah.
Really?
So every quarter we pick 3 things that are going to grow the company.
Wow.
In the next 90 days. And we give ourselves 90 days to do it. Because I think a lot of people think everything's going to happen so much faster.
Yeah.
It takes so long.
Oh.
It takes years. Like, that's the one thing I get upset about is people see all this.
Mm-hmm.
This took me 6 years to get this.
Yep, I totally understand.
You know what I mean? But then people walk in and think it's just magic. This room's only been here for 8 months, 7 months, you know?
Before you had the other setup, which is cool too.
Yeah, the other side was whatever.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But I think that's the thing. So we do what's called rocks. So every 90 days, we give ourselves 3 new projects to get done in 90 days.
Really?
But those things have to be long enough where they're big enough to take 90 days. But we give ourselves the grace to say, hey, I have 90 days to get this project done.
Oh, okay.
So try to do that.
I will. I most definitely will.
Because then it keeps you focused.
Yes.
And it's only those 3 things.
And then
nothing else.
You know you can get.
And then you get those things done. And then you start on the next thing.
Awesome.
Then you get 3 more. And then you have like a start to finish. Like, okay. And then you think about like, what are the 3 most important things I need to do right now to grow this business?
First thing right now is the homeless.
Yeah.
The first biggest thing I've noticed, it's huge. When I'm in the car and people and they're recognizing stray dogs before they're recognizing stray humans.
For sure.
I start to panic a little bit. So the first thing I want to do is I want to raise $10,000 and I want to create T-shirt and hoodies for the homeless.
Yeah.
And I want to pass these out. I want to go to certain places. I've noticed a lot of businesses I've been to, their problem is the way the homeless look. If I can have some part of changing that or adapting that. I notice now everything is about visual appearance.
Perception, yeah.
Right. So no one knows what's going on until you talk to these people. And I feel like if I can provide them at least something clean to wear, I don't know what they're going to do with it. I don't know how they're going to do with it. They can do whatever they want with it. But I would like to do my part to help with Riverside in particular, because that's where I live, and help the homeless grow.
Yeah.
Visually appearing.
Yeah, I think like that's the, like you said, it's visual.
Yeah.
I think if people saw people hanging out in the park, clean, nice, not nice, but clean, not trash around them.
Right.
That they would just see people just hanging out, and it wouldn't be like a eyesore.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. So that's the biggest thing.
It's crazy to me, like, and obviously homelessness is a crazy thing, and affordability of housing is crazy, but it is crazy how many people waste. It's just, I don't think the government can handle the money they spend on it. I think a lot of it's wasted.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people just like, give me some fresh clothes, a shower.
Oh, the way the system works, it's way better essentially to be homeless. You'll get government assistance, you'll get a cell phone, you get a place, you get 3 squares a day from everywhere. Like, the hardest thing you would have to do, and I don't know, I'm not homeless, I can't speak for them, but from what I've heard is finding a place to use the restroom when everything is closed.
True. I remember when COVID happened, I couldn't go in the gas station take a piss. I was like, dude, I said, this is rough, man.
Yeah, you can't do nothing.
You know, or you walk in the grocery store and you know you're only in there to go to the bathroom, and then you go to the door and then there's a code on it, and you're like, dang it.
I gotta go tell someone.
I gotta go ask someone for the code. And then I don't want them thinking that I'm only here to use the bathroom, so I sometimes grab stuff and put it in my hands. Like, I got a cart sometimes. Dude, it's so true, man. It's tough.
It is.
It's literally tough. And these are the things that you just don't even process, that you don't know. It's like going to the bathroom is very tough.
Yeah.
Getting a shower probably is not easy either.
Can't just jump in any lake nowadays.
No, you can't.
No.
So what do you think it is about you that's kind of, obviously a lot of people see things that need to be helped in this world, but what is it? Was it growing up in Oakland? Was it things like that kind of making you say, hey, I need to be out here helping people?
It's kind of part of my backstory, I guess. If I can give you just small back end, it's like, so I was born Palo Alto Hospital, grew up in Oakland, California, everywhere, all over the East Bay, if that makes any sense. And the way I grew up is we don't have options. There is no option. Like, this is the way things go. When I grew up, I was told, like, that's for those people. Black people can't have this. For example, I didn't know what HBCU meant until I was 25 years old.
Okay.
And I get flack for that. But I don't know these options. Like,
the educational system of letting, I mean, honestly, it's, but people don't realize black, white, whatever.
Yeah.
I think it's more economic.
Correct.
Poor people are just not taught the game to succeed. And I don't think middle class people are really.
Nope.
And the sad part is very successful rich people are playing the game in a way to make themselves successful. And you just got to figure out the rules of the game.
Correct.
And everyone can play it.
Yeah.
But you got to know the rules. And sometimes it's very hard to figure out. I'm still learning those rules.
Yeah.
You know? So continue. Sorry.
No, it's all good. I love it when you chime in like that. Yeah. So grew up, and then early stages, I would say kindergarten till about 6th grade is where my life like completely changed. I had no childhood whatsoever. Mm-hmm. My mom was on drugs, majority of it, or she drank. So it was like, I'm the oldest out of this group. I'm one of 14 or 15 of us. No disrespect.
I'm getting one brother or sister right now.
Yeah, I got a bunch of them. And from my mom and dad, obviously.
Yeah.
But those early years when my mom was on drugs, it was hard because I was taking care. So I had siblings I needed to take to school and find food. I walked down to the food bank with a stroller and a basket. See, that was the plug. You get double your food. Because it was more.
You can carry more.
Exactly. So it was more of us that needed to eat. So I would walk down to the food bank 2 times a week, grab us food. I didn't know how to do laundry, so our clothes were dirty, unfortunately. But as those time goes on, my mom always feels bad. Like, I'm so sorry. Like, I did that to y'all. But I tell her, like, you taught me how to survive. Yeah. You prepared me. I was cooking and cleaning and filling out forms in 4th grade.
Yeah.
So things kind of got a little bit rough as the year went on. 5th grade, my mom used to get beat up all the time by drug dealers.
Yeah.
And I try to help, but I'm a little kid.
Yeah.
I was, almost 300, 296, 4 foot something.
Yeah.
And their boss, I guess, or the big guy, whoever, he called me one day, said, if you work for me, I'll make sure your mom's safe for the rest of your life. Funny thing about that, growing up, I thought he was Young Jeezy.
Oh, really?
He was not. Not at all. But he said that if I work for him, then everything will be fine. So 5th grade, I dropped out of school. I just delivered drugs all day. Took my siblings to school, made sure they was good, picked them up, brought them back, made sure they was fed, and I would just walk around all day in my backpack and make deliveries.
Yeah.
My mom was safe. We had a little bit of cash. Things was good. We ended up getting taken from my mom by CPS, moving with my dad. Now we're learning a whole bunch of new world, a new life, a new things is going on, but we weren't as fortunate, so we had to, stay in our place, do what we had to do.
Was your dad in Oakland too?
My dad was in Oakland. Okay. Him and my stepmom, they had just bought a home, and they didn't expect this. They didn't have any kids together, and then a few weeks after they purchased their first home, we're moving in. Uh-huh. And so it was a shell shock, and my stepmom took it like no other. She's like, these are my kids now. We take care of them. We're going to grow them. And she did everything in her power to be our mom without making us feel like she's taking our place.
Got it.
So that was cool. Grew up with my dad. That was great. Played sports, obviously. I've always felt like if I had a place to go where I can get options, my life would have been different, or I would have at least had an option to have a different type of life.
Yeah.
And that's what I want to provide. But some of those things bring up those memories of when I didn't have an option, when it was just me, I had to just go. So that's was the beginning of go, fight, live for it. Mm-hmm. You don't have time to think right now. You just have to go, and you have to make sure it gets done and go for it. Because the more you think, the less you're going to get done, or you'll never do it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of how that went. And then times got hard. All the time, every single day, stuff was hard. Like till this day, like I just found out last night, my mom's in the hospital.
I'm sorry to hear that.
I appreciate that. She called and she said she's stable, she's cool now, but it's like one thing after another. Yeah. We had hospital issues when we moved here, and that took away 3-4 months when we got here. And it's like it seems like every bad thing keeps happening. So I was in a dark place for a long time. I never wanted to tell my story. I never wanted to tell people what I did when I was younger. Like, I never wanted to tell nobody. The more people I started to tell, the more confident I started to get, the more comfortable I started to get. I started to feel better about my life, better about myself. People understood where I was coming from. No one made fun of me. Everyone always asked, are you okay?
Isn't it funny that if people actually know the truth,
yep,
you think they're going to make fun of you, but no one makes fun of you?
Nope.
No one.
No one does.
Like, outside of junior high,
yeah.
The moment you get into real life, the whole making fun of you doesn't exist.
No.
It doesn't.
No.
Like, literally, like, people think, like, oh, I'm embarrassed. No one's going to make fun of you.
No one cares.
No one cares.
No.
They got their own shit they're worrying about.
That's why I don't understand the social media thing. It's like, oh, this person commented on my stuff. I hate my day. I don't want to take anything away from them, but...
Well, the problem is I think a lot of those people just don't have big enough problems.
That, yes.
Because I think in life, we as humans, I don't know what it is about us, but we are drawn to negativity. We are
Correct.
drawn to poor me. We're drawn to being upset.
Yeah.
And when people are complaining about such small things, it's like you just your life is actually really good.
Yeah, phenomenal.
When that is like you said, when that like there are people out there that can't eat, don't have food, don't have this, mom's in the hospital, so and so's dying, so and so's this. It's like if you're complaining about something so minute, you just don't. Your life's really But the sad part about it, those are the people that usually think their life is the worst.
And and I think that boils down to experiences. For me, what got me boosted in the brand, to answer your question directly, is someone showed me their bank account.
Yeah.
And that is what boosted me, because you could tell me all day you got X amount here, or you do this or you do that. But until I experience it, like ride-alongs is a big thing for me. I don't care what you do with your brand or what your company is. I want to do a ride-along. I can learn from you. So they don't have the experience. They don't know what it feels like to be bad. So in their mind, it is bad. But do we blame them for feeling that way? No. We just need to make them stronger and empower them to let them know that stuff doesn't matter.
I think that's the thing, is that it's like, but the hard part, going back to what we were talking about, like the game with like economics, if you're around people that aren't telling you that this, like for example, the college just was on before we jumped on this podcast. It's a project we have in Tennessee. It's costing us way more money than we thought. Blah blah. My partner's like taking it rough because he's over there. He was on the project. I'm more the guy financially in the deal. And I was like, dude, it's gonna be okay, man. Like, stop stressing. Stop. Like, let's just get this done. We'll sell it, even if we make no money off of it.
It's fine.
It is what it is. It was a lesson we learned, and when we go buy that $1 million property one day, we won't make the same mistake.
Exactly.
That's it.
I tell people all the time, nothing is harder than life, so just go for it.
And just go for it.
That's right.
And if you don't learn, and you're gonna fail, we all do. It's just you have to learn from those things and not make them twice.
Yeah.
You know, if you make a mistake, great. Just don't make it twice.
No.
If you can not make any decision wrong twice, you'll be all right in life.
I think you're doing good.
I think you'll do just fine. And the problem is that we keep making the same mistake over and over and over, and then we surround ourselves with people who also make the same mistakes, and then we don't feel bad about making that mistake because everyone else is making those mistakes.
Correct.
I think it's like, I've never done a drug in my life, but I assume that's what people who do drugs hang out with other drug addicts.
Yep.
So then no one feels bad.
Correct.
That we're all doing drugs.
Which is why it's hard for people to change their life, because you've been hanging
all
with
your
these
friends,
people.
And then you're alone.
Yep.
And then you're alone. So then you go back to what makes you feel comfortable, which is drugs.
Correct.
And then it just starts all over again. Fine. And that's what people do not understand. Is that it is like the ongoing circle. And I think people need to realize, like, a big saying I have is like, if the same thing happened to me, I'd probably feel the same way you do about that subject. It just didn't happen to me, so I don't know how I should feel.
Correct.
So when people get all huff and puff about all these things, it's like, dude, I grew up in, like, I didn't grow up in Oakland. Yeah. You know what I mean? I grew up in Riverside. Yeah. In middle class of America with both my parents. I never, you know what I mean? Like, so who am I to say how you should, or this person, or like survive? Like, I don't know. Yeah. I have no clue.
And that segues me into, why do people even get angry when
they don't even know?
Exactly.
And it doesn't affect them.
Yeah, it doesn't affect you at all. Like, why are you even inserting yourself into a problem that you're creating?
And I think everything for me is economic problems. Like, if people have money, no one grows up to be a drug dealer. No. The reason you became a drug dealer, or whatever you want to call yourself, was because of financials. Right. If your mom had money, you wouldn't be in that place. Like, it's always it's all economics.
And that's what I think all the time. And everyone tells me, calm down, it's not about money. But
it's all about, if you have money, I'm not saying you need to be a millionaire. I think that's the thing too I get pissed about. Like, in my space, everyone's like, I want to make $1 million a year. Dude, just if you're making $80,000 a year, you'll be just fine. Yeah.
You'll be all right.
You'll be okay. Yeah. I think that's sometimes it sucks in our world. It's like, I'm making 500 million or 500,000. You're making 800,000. You're making $1 million. And I'm like, cool, that's great. But how's your life at home? Yeah. Are you miserable? Are you suppressing your life because you hate it so much? So you do drugs and alcohol or cheat or whatever. So I think that's the thing that people don't realize, is that the hard part about it is, in the world we live in today, success is flashy cars, Supreme, I don't know anymore Supreme, but Supreme, trips, and that's not what 99% of us should think success is.
You see, this is okay. What? Oh man, I didn't want to go here. The reason I say that is because okay, what happened to me is I realized I'm following all these celebrities. Every single celebrity I'm following. Blue check, I'm following it. Blue check, I'm following it. Whatever they're doing, I'm doing it.
I'm not. I've only followed one blue check.
What I should be doing is following the people who pays their checks. So I start getting rid of the blue checks. I need to follow their bosses. Why am I following this rapper? Because next week I'm about to go to the club and it's going to be popping. And no, it's not. It's not the wave. So I think it's all from experience. What we see is what we think needs to be done, which is why I think it's easier for the wealthy to stay wealthy, because no one's paying attention up here. No one's going to focus on here. People say, like, I'm the biggest this, I'm the biggest that. Okay, well, let's get 100 people who do the same thing and then see how that competitive aspect works for you. I just feel as if that we're looking at the wrong thing. The visual is what we see, so that's what we do, which keeps us in a circle, which is why I shut down for 6 months. Told my boys, family, I'm not doing nothing. Focusing on me, because once you figure out what you want, even a piece of it, or you find out that you love something, or you love yourself, like, nothing else matters.
Well, I think that if the what people are the most scared of is the person that's not affected by other people.
Yes.
That's a dangerous place to be at. And when you get there, it is very dangerous, because then you make your decisions and your moves off what you want and not what other people think or what other people will judge you for.
Correct.
And that is a dangerous, the moment you can find that, you're dangerous.
I feel like I'm touching it.
And then what people don't get, we were having a talk with my girl the other day, and my girl's very religious, and, I'm getting there, God, whatever. But we were talking, and we were like, things are going great with us. Like, we're making some big steps in our relationship. And I literally told her, I was like, and I'm starting to speak it more out. I'm like, be ready. She's like, for what? I'm like, the devil's coming after us. And she's like, because things are good.
Yeah.
So they want to mess it up.
Yeah.
And we're very powerful together.
Yeah.
Because we're growing in the positive way. The devil's going to be coming at us.
Oh yeah.
So be prepared. Like, and it's so crazy, right? Like I told her this story. Like, I go to this event, and I'm in Vegas. I'm at this event, and then there's, very pretty woman behind me, and she starts chatting me up, and I'm like, was like, oh, I said, okay. Like, I see, like, I'm out of town. You know what I mean? I'm in Vegas. Like, and that's the thing, is that when things are going well, that's when you have to put your look even more to see something that's going to stop you reaching a bigger goal.
Everything's a setup.
What people don't realize is that when you're not doing good things, bad things don't really happen to you, because you're already doing the bad things. So when you're doing good things, you be prepared for something to try to get to you that's bad to stop you moving in the right direction. And so, like anything, it's like, I want to do this. Be ready for more hurdles. Because that they don't want you to do those things. No, and I thought I made a mistake by challenging the devil. If you're looking for me, I'm right here. That type of thing. Then everything started to go bad. My lady finally gets to 100% back after her major surgery. She's good, bouncing around, bubbly. Everything's good. The business is going good. I'm showing up to pop-ups. My mom's in the hospital. Yeah. It's like always. So now I know you just got to expect it.
Oh yeah, I know I'm on the right path, and that's another thing that gives me light. Like, it's gonna happen. Things are gonna be rough. It's gonna be a problem. For example, first pop-up I ever did was in Miami. I follow David Shands. He has a podcast, Sleepers for Suckers, called Social Proof Podcast. Followed it. He changed my life. Yeah. My sister gets an opportunity, which gave me an opportunity to go to his event in Miami to be a pop-up. I tell you right now, Adam, I could have threw up all over myself the day of the pop-up, because I kept telling myself, like, they're going to think you're a fraud. I'm talking myself out of it. And then I hear my dad's voice. He passed away in 2021. I hear his voice saying, like, oh, so, well, shit, I die and you just going to give up? All right, then I guess, whatever. You know? And then when I heard that gave me that motivation to keep pushing and keep pushing. But basically what I'm getting at is, I wanted to go on that trip. I didn't have the funds to go on that trip. I had to figure it out. I ended up getting an order for X amount of clothes. They end up saying last second, it's like, oh, you printed them too fast. We don't want them. So we're only going to give you the deposit, or you can give us a deposit back and keep all the clothes. So I'm like, great. I moved to SoCal, and the first major job I do, they mess me over.
They don't like it.
And it's like, I went off of the mock-up. I did everything they wanted me to do. But at the end, tail end, so then I thought what you just said, like, there it is, trying to stop me from going to Miami. But we're going to go. So that makes me feel good that bad things are happening. Is that weird?
No, it's I think the thing is like it's crazy, and I think I say this on every podcast now. It's like it's crazy. Like every person I sit across from, it's all the same 3 major factors, which makes them successful.
Yep.
And every single person has that. Like it almost reminds me like everyone goes through hard times. Everyone has gone this. Everyone. It's like the moment you realize everyone does it, and everyone who's successful has gone through some big moment in time.
Yeah.
Then when those things happen to you, you're like, I'm on the path to being successful.
Correct.
And I don't think that's like, if it happens to everyone, be prepared. It will happen to you. And you're going to have to go through those hard times to get to the light.
Oh, yeah.
Whatever the light is for you.
Yeah.
And I think that's the craziest part is just being like, this is going to happen. So when it does, I'm not upset because I know it's going to.
Correct.
You're just prepared for it.
Yeah. I live my life practicing being comfortable, being uncomfortable. Basically doing things I don't want to do.
I mean, here's the thing: what people don't realize with me, like I'm an introvert. I don't even like talking to people. And everyone goes like, "It must be nice for you. You're an extrovert." No. I'm like, no, I'm super introvert. I went to a thing. I was so intimidated to go to it. I paid a good amount of money for 2 days at this mastermind. I was hands down the smallest agent there. Yeah. I was so intimidated. I didn't talk to one person. I was just like, I'm here. Like I'm just here to soak in. I don't want to talk to anyone. I feel like a fraud. I feel like a fraud.
Yeah.
I don't feel like I belong here. Why did I pay the $3,000 to be here for 2 days? I'm totally not equipped to being here. And what's crazy is then I have people who probably look at me and be like, God, he's so successful.
Right.
But in my head, I'm in a room. But being in that room is the only way I'm going to ever get to that level. Because if I never walk into that room and I never around those people and I never see how they do it, and if they're telling me how to play the game, I'd rather know how to play the game than not play the game at all.
The way I see it, we all pay $3,000.
Exactly.
You got to pay $3,000 to get in the room, so we all in the
We're
same
all
level.
there.
Yeah, you put your pants on the same way I do.
Exactly.
And that's my alter ego I tap into if I need to. If I feel, oh no.
Yeah.
I tap into this different alter ego. It's a weird dude.
Yeah. Well, that's the crazy part is like people will meet me and they're like, you're way more chill in person than you are on the computer. I'm like, well, on the Instagram or whatever. I'm like, because that's a character.
You can't be, yeah.
I'm like, that's a character I'm playing.
Right.
I'm getting amped up for 90 seconds, or I'm getting amped up to be on stage, or I'm being amped up to speak, or I'm doing this. Like, when it's just me, I'm not playing this character. And I think that's what people don't get, is online now, we're all just playing a character.
But yet they understand that football players don't run around and hit people all day. They only do it for X amount of time.
Exactly.
So everyone got to have different,
There's always levels, intensities.
Right.
And I think the problem is a lot of people go so hard bored into something, and that's why they burn out and they don't make it because, like you said, you have training camp. You're not even hitting with pads.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, you're literally only going 110% for 4 quarters a week. For... Was it 18 weeks now?
If that, 17.
17. They play 17 games now?
17 games.
I don't watch sports.
17.
I don't watch sports. So 17 weeks, and the rest of the year they're not doing it. No. And I don't think, like, you have to pace yourself. It's a freaking marathon. It's like anything. Let's go to the NFL for a second. Yeah. Every running quarterback never makes it in the league. Why? Because they go full board out, and they get hit, they get hurt, they're out.
Yeah.
Look at Tom Brady. He's slow, but he doesn't get hurt.
Yeah.
And he just stays in the pocket.
Yep.
And he does his job.
And that's it.
That's it.
He does it all year.
And he just does it all year. It's very easy to be a quarterback when you don't get hit.
Yeah. Get a good offensive line. You
get a great offensive line. You look like $1 million back there.
But Cam Newton can't play now because he's been hit too many times.
Because he starts running out there getting hit.
Yeah.
You're not gonna keep running into a wall and survive.
No.
So
definition of insanity.
Exactly. Keep doing it over and over. So for you, moving forward, like, obviously you're starting the brand. First off, where can people get it? Your website, Instagram?
Website, gflforward.com. That is gflforward.com, gflforward.com. Got to say it 3 times.
Yeah, and then Instagram, obviously.
Instagram is
and then you do pop-ups?
I do pop-ups now. I was so scared back in the day to do it, but after Miami, it's like you got to get out there and network.
Where do you do your pop-ups at?
Right now, we're doing them in Moreno Valley.
Okay.
So we have one coming up August 13th. It's a hip-hop and nerds event. I'm going to be a guest there.
Okay.
They're trying to bring those 2 cultures together, which I think is awesome. There'll be a food truck there. There'll be a bounce house, stuff for everyone to do. I don't remember the exact address, but it is on Day Street, Moreno Valley. I think 125 Day Street, I think.
It was, one of my really good friends I grew up with. I'd say he's my really good friend. I'll shout him out.
All
but
right.
you know, my buddy I'd known since we were 8, like Justin, who runs One Love IE. You know, like, you know, it's crazy to think that guy has a store at Victoria Gardens, a store at the Tyler Mall, and you know, I drive around and I see people rocking his gear.
Yeah, that's awesome.
You know, this is his hat, and people have stopped me like, "Hey, where'd you get that hat?"
I was gonna ask you earlier. Yeah, I was gonna ask you.
And it's crazy to think like that dude started at, you know, he started at the Art Walk, selling T-shirts, selling hats, and then it went from that to he bought a warehouse, and then the warehouse went from Victoria Gardens and Victoria, and now it's like, oh, I'm looking at a place in Redland, and so it's like. And now he's like getting awards from the state of California. And like this kid, you know, went from just making T-shirts. Yeah. And I don't think people realize when there is meaning behind a brand, like his is One Love IE, like in One Love, we love everyone, or One Love in the Inland Empire and whatever. But when you give back and your brand has meaning, that's what people get behind.
And that's why I got to tell my story. I've just been having a hard time telling it because I feel like my story deserves more than my room, a director's chair, and my phone. Yeah. So I'm telling myself, but I think that's what's slowing me down.
Yeah, I think that's the thing that a lot of real estate agents get in their head. It's like, you know, I got to have what you have, and I got to shoot all this content. I'm like, dude, you can shoot. Dude, I was shooting stuff on like when the iPhone was like 27p, 720p, and there was like I had to have a cord and headphones, and I think that's the biggest thing is that we create reasons not to do it. Self-doubt. Like even for me, I'm like, I have to have like these mics. Yeah. We didn't need these mics. They're fire. But I'm like, they're fire. They're the mics Rogan have. I'm buying them. Yeah, right? They're really
Same
thing in this room. This room is completely different. And one day I walked in, I'm like, we're better than this room. I think more people watch this podcast or want to come on the podcast if the room is nicer. Yeah. I don't know if that's true or not.
You don't.
But we did it.
You like it for you.
Exactly. And so that's the thing is I've learned from myself. Every time something is stopping me, because of whatever, I just buy it because I can, and now I don't have an excuse. I buy stuff to get my excuses gone. Yeah. You need, I can't go shoot this content because my computer's not fast enough to edit 4K. Boom, buy a new computer. What's your excuse now?
Yeah.
I think that's the thing. Just you have an excuse, figure out a way to take away your excuse, and then what now?
Nothing.
You know, and the same thing would go back. Like the girl I had before you on this podcast, like, you know, she has disabilities, she has this and that, and it's like if one person has done it, what is your excuse not to do it?
You don't have one.
You don't have one.
You don't have one.
You ain't. I mean, shoot. As much as it's crazy but how many people need to hear your story to make that realize? Because the hard part is, I think, in this world is, you know, you hear like, I mean, I'm trying to think of like really famous, like 50 Cent was a drug dealer in Brooklyn, and you know, he got shot and whatever. But then it's so hard, like, but I'm not 50 Cent. I'm not a singer, right? I'm not. But it's so many people that their stories that no one will ever hear that actually can change more lives than those people.
And that's why I believe I need to get it out. Like I ran a podcast off my phone in my room. Me and my brother, we did it for almost a year. It was great. People loved it because the usual podcast, because it was just usual things we talk about on a day-to-day basis. Random. Yeah. But that is essentially where I'm coming from. The same excuse I have, I can't put my story out for X, Y, and Z. Yeah. Everyone else should too. So
well, and that's the thing too, is like that where it's just like, especially nowadays with like how free it is. Yeah. Like to think what we do now, just in my office, to think what I would have to do to pay to run an ad on YouTube, I can do in my office. Yep. That would have to cost me thousands of dollars, and that is the greatest reason why it's so funny. We live in the greatest time ever, in my opinion.
You and me both.
We live in the greatest time ever. There is no reason anyone cannot. We have the internet. There's no reason anyone cannot be successful. And there's no reason.
No, there isn't, and I don't think that there is. It's just we hold ourselves back on a day-to-day basis. All the information's out there. Like I done bought courses and spent 2 years and got absolutely nothing from the course except for the fact that I know that I need an in-person mentor. All the stuff online, I could buy 1,000 ebooks. I don't care, but I'm not gonna go through them. Yeah. Why? I don't know. It's just, I start going through them, and it's taking longer than I expected. Now I'm panicked. Now I'm back on YouTube figuring out a video. But like you said, we have access to so many things. We have abilities to do so many things. So why don't we? Yeah. But there's always stipulations.
I think the hard part too is there's almost too many options.
Exactly. What am I going to choose? So in my mind, pick one and go. If you don't like it, you can change it.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is for me, like I try to tell people, it's like I'd rather sprint in one direction, go the wrong direction, stop, sprint the other direction, stop, sprint the other direction, stop.
That's great.
Instead of like sit there, ponder for 7 months, and then move in a direction.
Right.
Ours is very like, let's do this now.
Yeah.
And if it works out, great. If not,
bang it out.
then we'll go to a different direction.
Yeah.
And then we're okay. Like, I'm not really worried about, I don't have a lot of fears. So for me, it's like, let's just go in the direction. If it doesn't work, cool. We'll go in a different direction. If it doesn't work, cool. We'll go in a different direction. It's cool.
I have so many fears.
Do you?
I have so many fears, but I don't live behind them. But I have so many of them, and I know that they're there. And I tell myself, like, you overcame this. You overcame that.
Yeah.
You ever done something you told yourself you can't do, and that feeling you get?
Yeah.
Like, I yearn for that. Like, I want that.
And the thing is that it's a cool story, man. And I think the story that you can tell one day means more than what watch you own. Like, you know what I mean? Like, I think that's the biggest thing is like, what can you learn from someone based on having a conversation with them? And the sad part about it is that there's a lot of people out there you can learn a lot from.
Right.
You just don't realize it yet.
And I think that's what everyone who is successful that I've come across or I've seen or that I don't know, they all have the same story. Someone took a chance on me.
Yeah.
Someone took a chance on me. I just kept pumping. I kept doing. But someone took a chance on me, and now we're at where we're at now. And the more and more I network and the more I go outside, I realize like the opportunities are all there. You are a handshake or a have a good day away from being closer to where you want to be. Not where you want to be, but I
think it just takes time.
Yeah.
Like that's something I struggle with. I'll see guys online, like, people I idolize or whatever, or people in my space, and I got to remind myself, like, dude, they've been doing this for 20 years.
Yeah.
I've been doing it for 6.
Yeah.
Like, pace yourself, big boy.
You're doing awesome. Like I watched your podcast the other day, and you said that you bought this place way before you.
Way before, dude.
Bro, that's the pressure I love.
Literally, and it all happened by accident. I quit my other place, and then I was like, well, where are we gonna go? And I kind of told myself, like, where am I gonna go that I can do what I want to do? And I just didn't know of a place in my area that had it, so I was like, let's just build our own.
Yeah.
And I think the thing is that it's just crazy to me how many people I talk to were like, their fear of whatever literally limits where they're at in life. Yeah. And how long can that eat? Then you're the person at 65 years old that's, let me rant for that. You're the person at 65 that regretted your life.
Yeah.
You're the person at 65 that still has to work. You're the person at 75 years old or 80 years old, you die, and no one has anything to tell about you, or your family's the one on the side of the street trying to ask for money for your funeral.
Yeah.
Like, I don't understand that with people where it's like, dude, work hard now to make it life better for you and your family in the future. And you really only need one person in your life, in your family, to kind of like teach your brothers and sisters. Yeah. Teach their kids. Teach this person. Yeah. I want to be like my Uncle Adam, or I want to be like my older brother Adam, or I want to be, and then be like, how do I, and then they're already in the circle. So then, like, all the years you wasted learning, you can teach them. All right, man, just roll with me. I'll show you how it's done.
This is how we do it, and that's essentially what I want to bring to everyone. I want to be that conduit. I didn't know that you had another podcast, What's Good in Riverside. Yeah. So the podcast I want to create is Say Hi Inland Empire. The reason I came up with that is no one's talking to anybody nowadays. No. Put these masks on, and everyone must have something, so don't talk to them. But I want to do Say Hi Inland Empire, and I want to do all of the startup businesses, all of the brands that are just coming out. I want to pump out 2 of those a week, and I want to be able to be the conduit, because I'm noticing there's a difference. So there's everyone here, the rich, and then the wealthy. So in order for you to get in those rooms, you need to know or meet or be popping. You have to know someone. Yeah. So if I can create a podcast that gets popular enough to where these people are on the radar, I can be that conduit, save them those steps over an hour conversation. I don't mind doing that. Like, so those are the things I want to do. I just hope, ain't going to be no interruption between what you're doing.
Listen, man, there's so much space out there. I mean, that's the thing. I think the problem is in Riverside, it's like I see people there's great Riverside Instagrams and TikToks, but the problem is they're showing the Mission, they're showing the Cheech.
Yeah.
It's like, dude, there's so many small businesses. The Cheech don't need more press.
No.
The Cheech don't need more press. The Mission don't need more press.
Nope. That's all I've been hearing about since I've been here, actually.
It's like, dude, those companies don't need more press.
No.
Like, there's so many small businesses that need the press, and it sucks because it's like, you know, the reason we kind of started this podcast because there's like so many people that they don't have the financials to do this.
Yeah.
I do.
Right.
So who am I not to provide value to someone not just looking to buy and sell homes?
I hear you.
And I think that's the thing I get so annoyed with people in our space. It's like, stop saying you helped 50 people last year because you bought and sold homes with them. Great, you probably did help them or whatever, but what else did you do?
Yeah,
you didn't do anything else.
Why isn't there a real estate experience?
Exactly.
I've always wanted to find out, like, I don't know if there is or not, but why aren't realtors offering moving companies, barbershops? This is where you go here. Like, for real, I didn't know how to figure all this stuff out on my own. Not to say that our realtor was bad, because he was awesome.
Yeah.
Great realtor, best friend. But I don't know a real estate company that offers those extras. And I know it's going to cost more, but let's build relationships with moving companies. Let's make, because
true. I moved yesterday, man. It was awful.
Oh,
I moved yesterday, dude. I literally I moved 8 hours, and my living room is full of boxes right now.
You should have called me, dude. I'll go help you.
No, I had 2 movers, but luckily I use them. I give them out to my clients a lot. So
smart. See,
you know,
everything must be an experience, I think, because everyone's doing the same things in retrospect.
The thing is that you have to be different.
Yeah.
You have to be different. You have to figure out what your niche is, and then double down on your niche. And it might not always work. Like, sometimes I question myself. Like, we do all this content, and I'm like, God, is this really worth the time and the money and staffing and equipment and things breaking and cameras and all these things? And I'm like, and then all of a sudden it's like, boom, this happens. I'm like, oh, it was meant to be.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
So.
It's worth it.
Man, I appreciate you coming on.
No problem. I got something for you if you don't mind.
Oh, for sure.
I don't know how much time we got.
No, yeah, go for it. What do you got for me?
I got a couple bags.
Oh, sweet. Oh, shoot. Look at him.
Yeah.
Dang, bro.
Yeah.
You know, I hope you know you're setting the bar. Every guest that comes on, I want a gift now.
Ooh, they're going to be pretty mad. With every purchase at Ford, we give a free workout plan.
Oh, okay.
People don't know what to do sometimes. They're like, oh, I want to work out, but what do I do?
Yeah.
So that's always the first excuse. So I ride them like I eat cereal. I don't know.
Okay.
So I got you 2 bags here.
Oh, nice, man.
You could take a look at it now or
For
not.
sure.
But it's a bunch of T-shirts,
Oh,
tank top.
Dang, dude.
Got a second bag.
Dude, we're going to do a photo shoot later. Dang,
that's for you. I appreciate what you're doing.
For sure, dude. I'll be, LA Fitness, wrong, Arlington. See me there. Oh, no, I'm in Rancho now. Rancho, LA Fitness.
I might be with them with a little booth.
Yeah, exactly. I think, it's crazy, dude. It's all about supporting people, man.
Oh, yeah.
That's all it is.
And
it's all about supporting. And this room, you got to go look at this. Good job, Adrian. God, get this mic working. These arms are not the greatest arms. But no, I think that's, man, I don't know. It just feels good.
Yeah, definitely does. I like to give. It feels good.
So I'm excited for you, man.
I appreciate it.
I think the bigger the goal gets, I think you just need to. My one advice for you is just realize as much as you hold back is the least amount of people you're helping.
Got you.
The more you preach and the more you talk,
Yeah.
the more chances you have to help people.
You're right.
And at the end of the day, that's all that matters. So
love running my mouth.
Exactly. So, guys, make sure you go check him out. Buy his stuff. Make sure you hit him up on his shop, his pop-up in Rio Valley.
Yep.
August 13th, right?
August 13th.
August 13th. This podcast will be about for then. So, and make sure you support the locals. You know what I mean? You got to wear a shirt to the gym anyways.
That's right.
Why not wear a shirt that means something? I always say that to people. I'm like, what? They're like, you don't rock Nike? Why? Nike don't pay me. They don't mean anything.
I don't know anybody.
I don't know anyone that works at Nike. I
I
don't need that stuff. So
Yes,
appreciate
sir.
your time, man.
I appreciate yours.
All right,
Thank
guys.
you.
Make sure you go check them out. Until next time. Peace.
Adios.